Peace, peace. What's going on? Got to get a little cleanse in, man. With the sage. That's one thing I want to talk about today. Because I don't know if everybody feels this, but I know we in a good time, right? I know we in a good time. But because we are in this good time, right? I know the universe in these other lower vibrating entities, they're aware of that. So you gotta constantly make sure you shed yourself from all of the negative energy that you may have come in contact with, as well as your, not just your physical temple, but your temple that you reside in, the Pharaoh, great house. Because Pharaoh don't mean king, for those of you niggas that think it means king. Pharaoh was a Greek word of how they said great house. It's not what they used to call the Egyptians kings. And the Egyptians, it's not what they used to call themselves. That's later day shit. So, with that being said, right, as far as cleansing your house, you know, where you staying at, or whatever you doing, you know, you can get you some sage, get you some sandalwood, you can get you some Palo Santo, any type of candle, not candle, but incense, because I learned that these spirits, I don't really like smoke like that. You feel what I'm saying? It kind of clogs up the frequency, I guess, for these lesser beings. So you get you some black tourmaline. I like raw tourmaline. That's what it looks like. You get you some black tourmaline, right? Get you like 4 pieces of it, and you put them in the 4 corners of your house. You can put it in every room. And what that does is it keeps negative energy out of your house. Why do you have to put it on 4 corners? It's not about like you have to put it on 4 corners, but energy, right? Especially that negative energy. Like when you was a child and you was acting crazy and all that shit, and your mom, probably everybody never been through this. I know I have. With not my mom, but like aunties and shit. Okay. When you acting bad or whatever, you know what I'm saying, just being a kid or whatever, and they tell you to go sit in the corner or whatever, that because that calms your energy down. Neutralizes the energy, just stops it right then and there. And then you find yourself drained like a motherfucker. You think you just in there for time out, but it was actually something else more. Right? So when you put the tourmaline in the 4 corners of your house, it will keep that energy from going into the corners of your house, these little dark areas in your house or whatever, and sitting there. Because a lot of people don't even think to, hey, I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna sage this down and I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. A lot of people don't think that, you know what I'm talking about? So when you cleanse in your house and all of that shit, right? A lot of this energy hides in certain places. In the main spot it hides is in the corners of your house. And then you might be sitting in your house one day and you feel anxious. Just a wave of anxiety. Give me 1 second. Just a wave of motherfucking anxiety. You feel your wave of anxiety, and you don't know where it came from. Okay? because you don't know where it came from, you might do like how I used to do it and just think nothing of it until you do a little more research and learn that, hey, maybe because I cleansed my house, maybe it's not thoroughly clean. I just say that because I just realized that I had real bad anxiety. And I know a lot of motherfuckers gonna be like, how the fuck you realize you just had anxiety? Bro, I'm gonna be honest. I'm naive as fuck. I sound intelligent because I am, but I'm intelligent enough to know where I'm naive at. So, yeah, I was naive. I don't give a fuck how stupid it sounds. I'm aware of it now. So, anyways, since I became aware of that, I've been doing a whole lot of house cleanses. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't just sit around and let the same energy flow. It don't matter if it's positive or negative. I don't let the same energy, like the same set of energy, the same vibes, I don't let it flow. You know what I'm saying? For too long. I cleanse it and then I replace it, you know what I'm talking about, with some better, more upbeat energy. And I think doing that at least once or twice a week will really help, because you can be having a great ass week, you know what I'm talking about, and when you go outside and go into the world or whatever, and you come in contact with these different realities, these different individuals or whatever, you know what I'm saying, motherfucker touch you, anything, you bringing a piece of that energy back with you into your house. It don't gotta stay on you, you feel what I'm saying? There's plenty of shit to cling on to inside your crib. That's gonna give it the proper nutrition to survive. You feel me? An argument, right? That's negative energy. It can feed off that. So the slightest shit, oh, you scared. The slightest shit. Even when you happy, you get what I'm saying? You just constantly feeling drained all the time. You constantly feeling worried all the time. Most likely you got some form of a lesser energy dwelling inside your house. Am I talking about haunted houses and shit? No, because don't nobody have to die. You get what I'm saying? For your place to be haunted or some shit like that or whatever. And I ain't even talking about hauntings. I'm talking about actual happenings. I'm talking about the fact that you're who you are, and then you can create your own reality. So the fact that you're depressed, or you steady attracting stressful situations, depressing situations or whatever, you feel what I'm saying? You're gonna only magnetize that energy. You feel what I'm saying? In your cipher. And by doing this, you're gonna create an entity called stress, depression, and all that shit. Anxiety. You get what I'm saying? And it's gonna feed off you. It is up to you, right? It's up to you to maintain that shit. You gotta keep up with the maintenance. Because ain't nobody else gonna do it. Now that you come into the knowledge and saying that, hey, I'm God, and hey, there's nothing above me, hey, there's nothing outside of me. Well, that means when you have any ailment, any illness, anything that's considered wrong in your eyes or whatever, that means you have to fix it. Last night, really not even last night, around 2 o'clock this morning, I'm building with one of the guys out here, right? And he tell me, he say, the guy, he really, he headed towards the right direction, but he still got that religious mindset. And I'm not gonna sit up here and say which is cool, because nigga, we should be past that. Like, this entire community is not supposed to be a religious community anyway. But, you feel what I'm saying? You got niggas that was once religious, and then got this information, this black information, and say, hey, fuck shit, God black. And what they're doing is replacing their religion with this advanced knowledge. That's not what's up, bro. Because watch this. You not what are you actually doing for real, for real? You doing the same thing that you was just doing when you was just worshiping your God. But the only thing, the fact of the matter of it is this right here. When you was believing in God or whatever, and you was religious and all that shit or whatever, couldn't nobody tell you nothing about that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the ones that truly believed it, because you'll still have motherfuckers that really didn't believe it, that just by societal standards or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because society says so, you know, they're going to be a follower and follow the lead or whatever. I'm not talking about those individuals. I'm talking about some whole other shit. You know? Them motherfuckers, right? I want to explain this. I want to explain this in a good way. I want to explain this in a good way. Because you believe that shit, right? You believe it because you grew up, like, learning this. Somebody told you this is what it was. Like, this is God, and this is how you should act, and this, that, and the third. Later in life, you probably jumped in the streets. You probably learned something else. So you're like, hey, I'm questioning this or whatever. Later in life, after that, you figure, hey, man, well, all this pertains to black people. So, hey, God should be black. You know, all black people should be doing this. All black people should be doing that. And then, you know what I'm saying? Maybe this is our, there is no enemy but yourself. Because the only motherfucker that exists in this reality is you. Unless you allow a motherfucker to exist in your reality. And you are allowing motherfuckers to exist in your reality because you want an enemy so bad. You feel what I'm saying? You want somebody to go talk to. You want to go save somebody. You didn't even save yourself. And you can't say you saved yourself because you had a few visions and this, that, and the third. You don't even know how to interpret your visions. They could tell me, God showed me this. God showed me that. God showed me this. God showed me that. I got so tired of hearing it, I say, hey, what you gonna do? You the only one getting them visions. What you gonna do? He say, man, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think they gonna listen to me and all. It's not about nobody listening to you. That's your problem. You think you somebody like this. So you think you gotta go out here and preach some shit. That's not what this is about. You thought that's what it was about because you steady reading the same information. You just changing the skin complexion of the people. Like, I don't get that shit. You feel me? I done fuck this blunt up, man. I don't get that shit at all. Because these individuals, right? They be so like they be so with it, you know what I'm saying? With the knowledge or whatever. But they just be still stuck, you know. I try to give a nigga information. Cause a nigga be seeking information or whatever, but it's like a nigga still be stuck on religion. We talked about how we talked about how people say this is hell, but this is supposed to be heaven, and you're not supposed to die to get to heaven and all that shit. The whole death, dying to get to heaven and all of this shit or whatever and all that shit, whatever. This is how I know that niggas aren't doing the knowledge. Fuck this. This is how I know niggas aren't doing the knowledge, right? Okay, that whole let's die, or you have to die in order to get to heaven and all that shit or whatever. You have to kill the false self to give rise to the true self. You feel what I'm saying? On the Kabbalah, the tree of life or whatever, right? At the top you got Keter. At the bottom you got Malkuth. You got the crown and the kingdom. You feel what I'm saying? As above, so below. In the beginning, there was darkness. God said, let there be light. In the beginning, there was melanin. You feel what I'm saying? In the beginning, there was chaos. God said, let's put some of that into order. This lesser being, this lesser entity said, let's take something from the uncreated potential and place it in the order because I want my own shit. This is what's going on. This has nothing to do with us. As far as that wasn't our choice. Our choice is to come here and to figure out why we came here. Figure out what flaw we had so we can leave from here. It's just that niggas get here and then they feel like this is what they are. I say, man, bro, it's 2 different species on this planet. He say, I know, man. I say, yeah, humans and mankind. Niggas say, the humans, them like them animals and yada, yada, yada and all that shit or whatever. In order to have a hue, you have to have some form of color. You have to be producing some form of melanin, whether internally or externally. Or externally. So, with that being said, right? Who the fuck you think are the humans? This melanated body is a human body. If you don't have melanin, if you're not producing melanin at this rate, right? You're not a human. You're kind of like a human. Mankind. You feel what I'm saying? We are different species than these individuals. And until you learn that, you will know how to interact with these motherfuckers. Because I'm going to steady bring this shit up. A lion and a gazelle. They're both animals, but 2 different species of animal. How do they interact? Because the lion is at the top of the food chain, and the gazelle is somewhere down here. If you have melanin, you at the top of the food chain. If you don't, you somewhere down here. Why? Because you have to feed off of something else, parasitically. You get what I'm saying? We don't have to kill any animals. Yeah, we eat, what do you call that shit? We eat the grass and all this other extra shit and, all the plants and the vegetables and all that shit, which is alive or whatever, right? But that gives rise to a more higher consciousness. It gives you higher thinking. You get what I'm saying? Because you're not clogged up with all of this, or all these toxins, all this GMO shit. None of that. You feel what I'm saying? You don't have none of that shit inside of you, so all you have is the natural shit. Protein from the plants, because plants is the only thing that produce protein. Plants take it takes the nitrogen out of the oxygen and all the light from the sun and all of that shit. With the amino acids, and it makes fucking protein. And all the animals that eats like grass and all that shit and all that we eat or whatever, the protein that we getting or that we think that we're getting from them is recycled protein. So it's not full protein. Your fucking teeth is flat. That don't mean you're supposed to be eating on flesh. Now I'm not here to tell you, you get what I'm saying, how you should eat and all that shit. I'm just a nigga that know what he talking about. Cause this is what I do. I do this. I don't read it. I study and I act. You get what I'm saying? I study and I act. Yeah, this is what I do. This is what I do. So don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't just think I'm just up here just talking this shit. So with all that being said, you gotta realize how you interact with motherfuckers. You got motherfuckers that take extreme measures just to survive on this planet. We don't need to do that. All we need to do is just go about our lives. But we're not going about our lives because we're going about the next individual. And this next individual is a different species than us. A lesser species than us. And you could be mad, but guess what? Watch this. I don't give a fuck. Because guess what? It's science, bro. Fuck you talking about. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I talk this shit all day, every day because it's science. Like, you just been told some shit your entire life. and and when some shit comes and shake up your belief system or whatever, you run 2,200 miles into the caves and hillsides. And those you motherfuckers that claim to be gods, y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. See, the time we in now is a real spiritual time. It's a real magical time. So a nigga can get on the camera and say anything, and because we're in this spiritual time, you will believe him. A motherfucker with a soul, or a motherfucker without a soul. A soulless being, right? A soulless being that is way completely lesser than us, right? A soulless being that's lesser than us just came through some fucking portals. Like, where's the proof in that? There's no documentation. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm hearing a whole bunch of shit now, and now I'm ready to start breaking shit down. I just don't do the debates, but I study shit. Niggas talk about, watch this. Niggas talk about, you know, we're what they call it. They be saying the Anunnaki, Anakai, all the other shit. Straight out of the fucking Necronomicon. Straight out of ancient Sumer. This shit talks about Ishtar, Enlil, Enki, and all this shit, and the great old ones, which is us. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, it talks about all this shit. It has all the residuals in there. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know what the fuck these motherfuckers are talking about. You get what I'm saying? I don't know what the fuck these motherfuckers are talking about. It talks about all of our shit in here. It's a mixture. But you niggas are going towards the lighter side. You feel what I'm saying? When you are supposed to be mixing up the whole thing. You're supposed to be bringing all this shit together. So you got niggas talking about, hey, motherfuckers came through here in portals and yada, 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 and all this shit or whatever. Man, hell no. Be logical. If a motherfucker came through here in a portal and all that shit, right, don't you fucking think they'll still be able to do this shit for real, for real? You know what I'm saying? The extreme measures that these motherfuckers go through to do what they're doing, you feel what I'm saying, already indicates that they really have no spiritual power to that extent. Never did. You get what I'm saying? So that right there shows me that you don't know what the fuck you talking about. That shows me that you don't have the motherfucking spiritual power. Or you haven't tapped in to your spiritual abilities yet. You get what I'm saying? You're already power that you already have. You get what I'm saying? That shows me and every other motherfucker that's out here doing that work. That's what that shows. And I'm gonna tell you this, bro. You ain't smart enough that you can convince yourself that this is what it is. Because even before my experience, right, I just knew that, man, bro, something has to give. Something has to give. Like, I just ain't studying this shit for no reason. I ain't just meditating for no reason. I'm not just doing this shit for no reason until I have my ego death. And I figured out that I don't know shit. I don't know nothing. So with that being said, right, the Necronomicon, the Book of the Dead, the Book of the Black Earth, right, it talks about the Anunnaki, Enlil, Enki, you feel what I'm saying? The what you call that shit? The Earth gods and all that, which is just a pantheon of spirits. And then it talks about the great old ones. You get what I'm saying? These are ancient evil gods. You feel what I'm saying? But in the Necronomicon or in Greek mythology, these would be the Titans. You feel what I'm saying? These would be the Titans. So you got the Orishas. And this would be Palo Mayambe. You feel what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man. Like, this is what the fuck this shit is. Like, you niggas ain't on. I don't know what you niggas on, bro. Nigga just say some shit and just a nigga gonna believe it and run with it, bro. I'm not running with none of that shit, bro. You gotta show me something. You gotta actually show me something, and tell me how the fuck this shit pertains to our spirituality now, because it does. But you're not looking in the way that it does. Nigga, you gotta go back. You feel what I'm saying? You have to go back. When a star reaches its ending point, You feel what I'm saying? And it does not have enough gravity to keep doing what it does. It collapses in on itself. You feel what I'm saying? And when that shit's over, all of those particles that's inside of it and all that shit or whatever, right? It blows up. Big Bang Theory, and it happens all over again. This is what the fuck is going on right now. This is what the fuck is going on right now. You gotta stop that shit. It's a constant. Because niggas aren't getting the knowledge. Niggas is trying to use the same light. Light and darkness. You come together and it creates balance. You spread this shit apart, you gotta, there's no gray area, nigga. You gotta be one of the two. So what you do, you gotta come together to make that balance. You feel what I'm saying? Niggas take this and say, hey, this is evil. Hey, every fucking thing that you can think of in this world, this entire world, that's supposed to be evil or scary or whatever, pertains to melanin inside of your body. Every fucking thing. Every scary thing, every evil thing, every fucking thing that you can think of that's bad, that they told you, hey, don't mess with that or whatever, has something to do with the color black and melanin. Everything to do with this and the lighter side, the brighter side of spirituality, all the things that's beautiful and all that shit, is actually the false side of spirituality. Why? Why'd you say that, Akil? Because listen, once there was darkness, there was light that came up out of that darkness. This light was a piece of that darkness being placed into order. What you see now, society, this bullshit ass reality. But, like I just said, this was created by a lesser entity that wants it to control. Not no white nigga. You feel what I'm saying? Not none of that. This ain't got nothing to do with them, nigga. This is a war that we've been having forever and a day, nigga. You talking about reptiles? You have a reptilian brain. The most ancient part of your brain is your reptilian brain. It's primal. If I stuck your motherfucking ass and you did like this, your reptilian brain was responsible for that. Your heart beating. You're breathing. Your organs is doing all of what they doing. Your reptilian brain is responsible for that. You feel me? Nigga. The first calendar that we went by was Sothis. That's Set. That's Sirius. That's Satan. That's Teton. That's Titan. That's Typhon. That's Typhonian. That's Egyptian at best, nigga. But watch this. Every scorpion, every reptilian, anything to do with the reptile and the storms of the desert pertains to Set, which was a good guy at first, still is, because one man's God is another man's devil. Some niggas came up and said, hey, we finna change all of this. And we finna make new gods, and this God's gonna be a devil. Let me tell you this. I've said this many times. I said when we first got here, what you know to be Egypt, it wasn't the dynasties. It was Typhonianism. So Typhon, like I said, is Set. And like I said this before, the first calendar that we went by, right, was the Salted calendar. The months that we went by, right, we had 13 months. The 10th month, the 13th month, it had 10 days in it, right? That calendar went for, well, not went for, but it was aligned with the woman's menstrual cycle. 13 menstrual cycles, 13 moons. You feel what I'm saying? The Salted calendar, which is what? Sirius or Isis. You feel what I'm saying? Because Sirius is the reflection of the Great Mother, we were still giving off that matriarchal energy. This is what the fuck we were doing before a motherfucker came in and changed it. Say God, your father, and all this shit. Your father don't matter, nigga. Fuck you talking about? Got a nigga like, oh, my dad, you know what I'm saying? I seen the nigga, he seen a nigga with a picture, with a scar, And he think, oh, this the nigga and all that. You so far gone into that shit. I'm not gonna be the one that's gonna be like, hey, it's not that. That's not it. That's not my job. I'm gonna be the one to say, hey, this is what you're into. All right, look at it like this, because I know something about this shit. Because I'm the nigga that studies everything. So I'm not gonna tell you, don't study this, don't study that. You're a Christian, study Gnosticism. You a Muslim, study Sufism. You feel what I'm saying? That's what the fuck I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna say, hey, this is not right. Get into this. This is not right. Get into that. No. You gotta study everything, because all of this shit matters, man. All of this shit matters. With this, nigga, we missing something. With that, y'all missing something. You gotta bring it together. You feel me? If you don't bring it together, nigga, we gonna be stuck here. Not forever. We gonna be stuck here till we figure it out. That could be forever. Because who knows how long you've been here. You feel me? Who knows? We go off of modern day time of when the world was created, right? But we existed so fucking long, man. So fucking long. The pygmy people, right? If you just look it up, it says they've been around Earth for 63 million years. I mean, we've been around longer than that, but just that, them little ass people. They talk about them in The Hobbit. So, I just had to get that shit out. First and foremost, when it's coming to spirituality, man, you gotta have common sense. You gotta be logical. It's a lot of times it's illogical when you're doing the work, but when you comparing it with a lot of shit, you gotta be logical. If I'm way better than this motherfucker, physically, spiritually, mentally, just all around the board. See, that's the thing. A lot of motherfuckers don't know. They just be assuming. They don't know. I actually know from first-hand experience. I witness. I see. I know these motherfuckers in and out, man. For real, for real. So the shit that I study, I had the opportunity, you feel what I'm saying, of experiencing whether or not if the shit was real or not, whether or not my studies on these other species were real. And for the most part, that shit is absolutely fucking real. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And I don't even think these motherfuckers can help it, but that's okay. It's not about them, it's about us. You get me? So, we want to, when we doing this spiritual shit, we want to look at ourselves first and foremost. Whoever you hate, whatever you don't like, whatever you love. First and foremost, you want to look at yourself. If you can't find the love in yourself, you can't love nothing else outside of yourself. If you can't find the hate in yourself, you can't hate anything else. Because guess what? Even if you wasn't aware of the hate that goes on inside of yourself or whatever, right? That hate that you have for somebody else or whatever, you actually have it inside of you. Like you actually hate yourself. That what you think you hating it for real, is actually a part of you. You get me? So, but you don't want to look at that. You don't want to not like yourself, because it's not healthy to not like yourself. Well, it's not healthy to hate other individuals that has nothing to do with you. It's not healthy to hate a motherfucker because that's a strong frequency, and you sit there and you dwell on that shit. You're sending energy to that motherfucker, because all day you thinking about this motherfucker. That's not healthy. Spiritually or mentally or physically. Because spiritually, you're giving your energy. And then mentally, you're draining yourself. So physically, you're going to feel drained as well. Because it's all in the mind thing. We all living in the mind. I'm sick. I'm sick. I'm sick. I'm sick. I'm sick. Now I'm sick. I'm sleepy. I'm sleepy. I'm sleepy. I'm sleepy. Now I'm sleepy. Hey, man, I'm hungry as fuck. Now I'm hungry. When you talk, don't you feel the vibration in your mouth? These words don't mean shit. Words are spells. Words are spells and thoughts are things. You feel what I'm saying? So, when you saying something with the intention and the willpower, and it doesn't even have to be that. I'm talking about when I'm speaking on this, I'm talking about the energy. Feel what I'm saying? The energy that you putting out into that shit. When you speaking into that shit, you bring that shit into existence. You get what I'm saying? It's nothing but a vibration. And you send in that frequency, right? Because guess what? When you breathe in prana, you breathe in chi. You feel what I'm saying? Ashe, right? And that carries your blood, or your blood carries it. You feel what I'm saying? Throughout your body. So when you're talking or whatever, right? Because your body is what? 70-some% water and all that shit or whatever. So you got your water, you got your blood and all that shit or whatever. You have this frequency that you're speaking, right? First and foremost, it was a thought. Then you spoke it out into the universe. It's running throughout your whole entire body. You better know that shit's gonna come true, man. This shit real, man. This shit metaphysics, man. Straight up. This shit ain't no game, man. So why you niggas be on there like, hey, let's go to war? You're gonna get your war. Because remember, you creating your reality. So for all of you guys that's out there watching videos on YouTube right now, whatever, what reality do you want? When you watching a video on YouTube, you gotta ask yourself, is this nigga really trying to help me? Or is he trying to help himself? Or is the shit that he putting out there, can it help me? Or is he just putting it out there to make himself sound good? You gotta think, why did I click on this video? Because every video that I watched on YouTube or whatever, everything that I read is literally pertaining my path. I'm trying to get it to get to the next level on my path. I don't have a religion. I'm not none of that. You know, I used to be a 5%er, but that shit's dead to me. I'm a God, but that's it, that's all. You know what I'm saying? I don't identify with nothing else or none of that. I just like to study. I read and I get it. You feel what I'm saying? So when you listen to somebody else, you get some information. Remember your intentions. Remember your agenda. Remember your goals. And never get lost in the sauce of the knowledge. Because when you do that, you'll find yourself a follower or following somebody because, hey, it sounded so good. And your ego is gonna make it seem like, hey, this is the same thing and this is what we should be doing anyways. And remember, the ego is not your real self. That's the false self. The true self is the subconscious mind. It's being suppressed by the conscious mind. You get what I'm saying? We gotta align it though, because it's all of us. But the true self, the most pure self, is the subconscious mind, the soul, the atom. In the middle of the atom, right? Not the middle. In the core of the atom is protons, electrons, and neutrons. It takes 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons to make melanin or carbon. I'm just saying, man. It's deeper than all of this other extra shit. It's only about you. It's not about nobody else. Peace.